Hello model railroad fans. In today's video we're going to take a look at this Arby's restaurant in HO scale that I picked up at Menards the other day. So give me just a second to get set up on the tripod and I'll be right back. Before we get started, let me take a quick moment to welcome you to Vintage Road and Rail. And like I'd mentioned at the outset, we're going to take a look at this Arby's building. I picked this up the other day at Menards. So we're going to take a look at the packaging, then we're going to take it out of the package and get a closer look at everything and, just plug it up and just take a good look at it and see what it's all about. But before I get started on that, the Menards HO scale buildings, I didn't really know about those until maybe this past spring. At the time I'm filming this, it's about mid-December 2021. So this past spring, I saw a video on a few of these, and I had been wanting to pick up a couple, but while they may have a few of the O scale in stock off-season, they really don't have these except around Christmas time. And I'd wanted to get the Taco Bell, but now I can't seem to find it, but I would have much rather had the Arby's. So anyway, this is completely pre-built and is illuminated with some LEDs, so you will need to have a way of powering it. So you can pick one of these up. They're about, I want to say it was $7.99 to grab one of these, and they have a few of them on display right next to where the structures are. And if you don't see any there, ask, because they had more in stock back in the electrical section. So don't just assume that, just because that display is out, that they're completely out at the store. So anyway, so you'll have one of these little things inside the bag, but it fell out the back here. So we'll just set that aside. So let's take a look at the packaging real quick. Excuse me. All right. So as you can see here, it's fully lit by 30 bright LED lights. And they've got a little advertisement on here. You can sign up for some announcements for their train products. And we see here Arby's restaurant, pre-built HO scale compatible building. And it says limited edition, available only at Menards. Now this limited edition, I don't know if that means there's only going to be a limited run of these, like maybe this year, or they'll make it for a couple of years and then they'll stop producing them. Or if the limited edition means that you can only get it at Menards. Excuse me. So moving on around here, we've got some dimensions. So it's 5 3/4 inches wide by 5 5/8 inches deep by 3 1/4 inches high. And here's the model number for it, and just the barcode. Moving on around, you can get some more information. Pre-lit with 30 LEDs. Includes 2 figures, Jack the German Shepherd, enter and exit signs, 4 bushes, 3 Arby's logos, lit from below, and 2 AC units. And then we have some information telling you about how to access the plug-in here. And what I did, and I don't know that it's overly necessary, but they had a display of some of these buildings at Menards, so I unplugged one of their displays and plugged this in to make sure it works. All right, moving on around. Then there's just some little warning signs, about being underage, choking hazard, things of that nature. And then they're just telling you to visit their website for more train-related items. And I've already removed it, but there was 9 holes, just 9 staples holding this thing together. I don't know why they couldn't have got by with just 4, but 9 is what they went with. So let's go ahead and pop this off. And then we'll set that off to the side, and we're going to leave it in this tray for a few moments while we take a look around the building. All right, so here is our front, and we've got our inner sign to direct you to go around this way, and we have an exit sign here so that once you've picked up your order, it's kind of telling you which direction to go to get out. And if we angle it down, we can see Jack the German Shepherd. And we've got a person going in the front door, so we have, bring it back down here, our front door here. And we have some Arby's advertisement or promotional signs, you know, the kind you see at all fast food restaurants. And here's one of the little 4 bushes that they talked about. So, before we move on, here's our Arby sign. And this is very representative of what you might see with a modern Arby's. However, I can't help but notice that the building is laid out different from the Arby's that my daughter works at. Her first job she just got a few months ago, and she chose Arby's. Alright, so let's keep going around here. We've got some supports here, and we've got 3 bushes, so that's the other 3 of the 4. And we've got some windows here, and we've got some more signage. And we have a second side entrance, and we show a guy going in here. And then we have another Arby's sign right there. Moving on around the back, there's nothing here, just a blank wall, but there is a little bit of detail. You got some rock detail here, and you get some painted detail there. And then we have where we would plug in one of those power adapters. And then moving on along to the other side here, there's our RB sign. And we got our drive-through window, and then we've got some more signage in the window here. Some nice little brick detail going all the way around. And you can see a road base right here. So about the only gripe that I've got so far with this structure is there's no, let me turn this around just a little bit better here. There's no support going down right here. Now, I'm not a structural engineer or nothing like that, but that just looks like an awful lot of weight for the amount of distance that hangs over. It may not be, but it just looks like it is to me. Alright, and on the top, we have a little bit of roof detail, and then here's the 2 air conditioner units. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop this out of this little tray that's packed in. Alright, and if you look under the bottom, or on the bottom here, here is another location where you can plug this up, and it has a little bit of cord to it, so you could poke that through the bottom of a table, but I would probably, I don't know if I'd want to go through the table or if I'd just want to bring the other up and tuck it all in. But then you've got your circuit board. I don't know if you can see that right there, that's connected to all of your LEDs. Alright, so that's pretty much a quick walk around. And actually what I just noticed is if you look under here, you can see some of the LED strips going around the edge there to illuminate the outside of the building, and right here in the drive-through. So, and I don't know if I mentioned it a second ago, this is laid out a little bit differently than the one my daughter works at. For where she works, this drive-through is on the opposite side. You place your order right about here, and you drive on around. Sorry about that. And then they have a door back here where you go in and out for the employees. So when I put this on my table, I'm going to use this underneath connector. So I may try to see if I can find some way to cover this up so it's not so obvious. Maybe get like an HO scale dumpster, or you know, some other thing you might see behind a restaurant to put in front of there. So alright, so that is the quick walk around of that unit, or of this structure here. So I'm going to stop the video for just a moment, and I'm going to pull out one of these. I did get 2 of them. I only needed 1. This one I'm going to donate to my local model railroad club. They picked up one of these for their O-scale layout, but they were completely out of these adapters, so I'm going to donate this one to our club. So give me just a moment to get this plugged in, and I will be right back. Alright, so I've got that taken out of the package and got it plugged in, and as you can see, here's the end that we're going to plug into the structure. And I didn't mention it, but this is a 4.5 volt power adapter, and it has an 8-foot 8-inch cord. Why they didn't just do 9-foot, I don't know, but should be plenty long enough for most layouts. And you could get, if you need a longer one or you need an extension, I'm sure you can find that on Amazon or somewhere. All right, so anyway, let's plug it up to the back here. I'm hanging up on something. And let's see how bright this thing lights up. Wow, that's pretty bright. And you can see, I'm probably blinding you in the screen, but you can see all the illumination on the outside. And just looking at it head on, it's almost a little too bright, I think. But you can see how it's lighting up the Arby's sign here and here and here from underneath. And if you were coming through at night, you're going to have a well-lit path to get to either door and driving underneath the drive-through here to pick up your dinner. All right, so let's I'm going to back up here for a second and turn out the light, and let's see how well this lights up the room. All right, so this is how it would look if you were doing some night display on your layout here. And again, I almost think it's a little too bright, but other than that, I think it looks pretty good. I think the detail is great. All right, so give me a second. We'll turn the light back on here. There we go. All right. Well, while we're at it, let's just go ahead and try out the other connector. And it works just fine as well. All right. So let's unplug her here. All right, folks. Well, that is the Menards HO scale Arby's restaurant. If you're into O scale, they do make this as well in O scale. So just find your local Menards. This was $49.99 is the regular price, and I think the O scale, don't quote me on it, but I think it's $89.99. So it's a good bit more expensive, but it's also a good bit bigger. So yeah. So actually, I really like it. I think it's going to look really good on the layout that I've got planned to start up at the beginning of the year. I think it's going to fit right in. The only two gripes I really can find with it is, and I don't know so much if this is a gripe, it just seems to me like I think this will be a little bit better with some support. And I think the LEDs, while they look great, I think it's just a little too bright possibly. But again, that's very subjective. Someone else may think it's not bright enough. So anyway, that is a look at the Menards Arby's. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this video. So if you liked this video, make sure and hit that like button, subscribe. If you have some of these Menards structures, leave a comment below and tell me what you think of them. If you have this structure, I'd like to know, where you maybe put that on your layout. All right, well, that will do it for today. And thank you very much for joining me, and happy model railroading. Take care.